Welcome to the program. Kenyan lawyer Paul Gicheru, who surrendered to the ICC on Monday, will make his first appearance before the pre-trial chamber today. He will appear by video link from the ICC detention center and will be represented by a duty lawyer. ICC prosecutor Fatou Bensouda, in a statement, says the court's judicial proceedings will follow after he makes the initial appearance. Rita Tinina with more details.
After spending 3 nights at the ICC detention center, Paul Gicheru will have his first date with pre-trial chamber judge Rene Alpine Gansu today. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Gicheru will be represented by a Dutch lawyer who will make his appearance via video link from the ICC detention center. During the appearance, the judge will confirm Gicheru's identity, the charges against him will be read out, and the court will confirm the language to be used in court proceedings. The initial appearance may mark the beginning of a long court process leading to the confirmation of charges hearing. It may take several months, beginning with the disclosure of evidence. ICC Fatou Bensouda will be required to provide the defense team with the evidence that the prosecution will rely on for the confirmation of charges hearing. Gicheru is accused of influencing witnesses in the case against Deputy President William Ruto at the ICC, which was terminated in April 2016. Gicheru surrendered to the ICC on Monday, 5 years, 8 months since a warrant of arrest was issued against him and Philip Kipkoech. In a statement, ICC prosecutor Fatou Bensouda says the warrant of arrest was issued after judges established reasonable ground to believe that Gicheru and Bet were involved in an organized and systematic criminal scheme aimed at approaching and corrupting 6 prosecution witnesses through bribes and other inducements in exchange for withdrawing as witnesses and or reenacting their prior statements to the prosecution, says the statement. Philip Kipkoech remains at large. Gicheru's motive to surrender remains unclear, and his first appearance will lay the ground for judicial proceedings, which may take months.
Let's talk more about this. I'm now joined by political commentator Martin Olo. Martin, many thanks for your time here in News Desk. For the benefit of our viewers who do not know who lawyer Paul Gicheru is and why his surrender to the ICC is important, give us a brief background as to where this began.
I think Paul Gicheru is somebody that we need to understand. He's a lawyer, he's an advocate, and he's somebody who has been in practice in Kenya. And the first time we heard about him is when ICC team was disassociating itself from him, particularly Karim Khan, who was representing the deputy president now, William Ruto, said, look, Paul Gicheru was not part of his team. So that is the beginning of what we see, but we also know that ICC has had some concerns about him plus Bet, and they have said that, look, surrender, we want to prosecute you.
Had he surrendered, or had he announced his intention to surrender before, would he have been cleared, as opposed to this surprise surrender, which came as a shock even to the ICC?
I think that there is a personal, or rather there is something that we need to look at. First, he has a personal side to him where the family says that they sat down and made a decision. 2, because he's an official of government, he applied to ask to be given permission to go, but he did not say where he was going and why. And then the third issue is that he actually arrived in Hague and decided to surrender himself in. That raises questions. Had he said he was going for that purpose, would he have been allowed, would he have been cleared? And then you go back to say he has been one of the people that has been said to have benefited as people who have been representing the two, and they have benefited with government jobs. So is it the case that they could not have been sacrificed because they're already inside the system? So those are questions that we need to ask. But again, those who are raising other issues are saying, why now?
What does his surrender now mean for Kenya? Because, I mean, we've already had 2 cases vacated at the ICC touching on the Deputy President William Ruto and journalist Joshua Sang. Could this potentially see a reopen of any of these cases?
Yeah, and perhaps, Michelle, what we would say is that these cases were never vacated in the sense that they were simply terminated on the account of no evidence, but they were left open. So chances of it being opened up are always high, depending on what kind of information, what kind of new evidence comes across. Now, we don't know what Paul Gicheru knows. We don't know until we start seeing the proceedings how it will have a ramification. But If I was accused, I would be worried.